Rupert, I had a question about the separate self showing up in a sensation or a feeling, but not showing up in the meditation, but showing up in another time during the retreat. And it's linked to eating disorder or, using food. So last night it was late and I finished talking to everybody and I went to sleep. I went up to sleep and I was lying in my bed late around 11:30 and I had these huge hunger pangs and I recognized them in that obviously I'd eaten a very good dinner and I wasn't hungry. So obviously this wasn't real body hunger. And it was strange to actually recognize it then because I have had a problem with eating too much for a long time now. Not when I was young, I was always skinny, but over the last, I would say, decade, I have felt that I'm eating too much at meal times, and I'm not hungry, but I'll go back for more, and but it's not a physical hunger; it's a weird, unnameable hunger that I can't explain it. And I wondered if, I've tried sitting with it before coming on retreat, for example, at home with meditation. I've tried eating less. I've tried going on a diet. I've tried many different things, but it's not.
Yes. They don't work, or they may work at best temporarily. They may plaster over the problem, but they don't really get to the heart of it. The heart of the problem is, as you rightly diagnose, it's a hunger that is not related to physical hunger. Your physical hunger has been satiated by your meal, and yet you are still hungry. In other words, you still feel, I lack something, and that is the core ego, the sense of lack, or one of its two essential forms, the sense of lack and the fear of death. But you feel it most as the sense of lack. And what the ego is motivated to do when it feels that sense of lack is to unite with an object. In your case, food, but it could be a sexual impulse, it could be alcohol, it could be any kind of alcohol, it could be an activity. What the ego wants to do is to unite with an object, to merge with an object. Because in acquiring the object and merging with it, the sense of lack, by definition, temporarily comes to an end. So we feel this emptiness, this sense of lack. This sense of lack translates into a thought, I want food, I want an object. I go to get that object. Sure enough, when I eat the object, although I'm not hungry, when I eat the piece of food, my sense of lack, this hunger, is relieved. Although I wasn't really hungry, nevertheless, there is relief from the sense of lack, because the sense of lack has been put to not ended, but simply put to sleep by this merging with the object.
And it lasts for a few hours, sometimes even a day.
It lasts, so that the sense of lack goes to sleep for as long as the food lasts, and then the food wears off, and sure enough, there it is, the sense of lack is there again. It rises up, and it compels you to go out towards an object again. So you eat again and again, and you experience again and again this subsidence of the sense of lack, but never its true uprooting. You never really see it clearly.
Yes.
Because before you've had time to see it clearly, you have merged with an object.
Yes. So
it's very good that you understand the process this far, that you see that this has really got nothing to do with food or your body or hunger or anything like that. This has got to do with ego, separate self, the belief that I am finite, and therefore I constantly need to be fed by an object to keep myself, this finite object, intact. So,
and you know what's funny is that it's amazing the way you're saying it, because I thought that I wasn't going to any object and I'd left all attachments, but it's coming up like this.
But that's very good, because all the kind of, maybe the kind of grosser objects that you previously went towards may have, your attraction towards them may have largely subsided, but now the subtler objects, the subtler impulses to relieve the sense of lack or fear are being exposed. At some stage, and we were talking about this a few days ago with someone, even our daydreaming thoughts.
Yeah.
A thought, you can only think of an object. Yes? So even our daydreaming thoughts, which are like your sense of hunger, thoughts that have no purpose.
Yes.
They are not a response to a situation. There's no reason for that thought to rise and go towards the object other than to avoid the discomfort of the moment. So a daydreaming thought, a thought that goes out towards an object, is exactly the same thing as this feeling in you that goes out towards food. You see, it's so innocuous. You never even noticed it before.
No.
Most people think that daydreaming thoughts are completely innocuous. Well, they are completely innocuous. However, those innocuous thoughts keep alive the separate self, which is the source of all their unhappiness.
Yeah.
In that sense, it is not innocuous.
No.
And this very subtle impulse towards food is the way that the separate self perpetuates itself in you.
Yes.
So be courageous. And you obviously are already lying in your bed. You feel this impulse to relieve the sense of lack through merging with the food. And you know too much now to let yourself creep downstairs into the kitchen. Yeah.
I did think of hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate, okay.
I thought of it.
What I would recommend in a situation like that is to, and you are already doing this, is to see the impulse to go for the hot chocolate. Notice all the thoughts that justify that impulse. Oh, hot chocolate, I'll use skimmed milk. It's okay, it's quite cold here. So thoughts will persuade you that it's totally legitimate and even necessary for you to have some hot chocolate in the middle of the night. Yeah. So notice both the impulse towards the object and all the thoughts that rise in support of that impulse. But then be courageous. Take your stand as this open, empty space in which there is no lack of anything. And be that knowingly. And you say to this thought, this feeling, the I want some hot chocolate feeling, you say to it, you are completely welcome inside me. I have no problem with you. I'm not going to do what you want me to do. I'm not either going to give you a cup of hot chocolate, nor am I going to get busy trying to get rid of you. Because doing both, trying to fulfill the feeling, trying to get rid of the feeling, will subtly perpetuate the feeling and therefore subtly perpetuate the ego that is at its origin. So you stay as this open, empty presence. You tell the feeling that the feeling is welcome. The feeling can do whatever it likes in you. And the feeling will be a little irritated by your response because it's used to being fulfilled by you. It's used to getting its cookie or its cup of hot chocolate. And now it's being denied its fulfillment. So it will become a little agitated. It will try all sorts of ways to get you to fulfill it. It will come back with a vengeance. And be courageous. You have to be courageous now. You have to stand resolute. I am this openness. I am not going to get involved with you, either fulfilling you or getting rid of you. And just stay in that fire as long as you can. Even if after 10 minutes you go to make a cup of hot chocolate, that will be okay. What is really important, what is really powerful, is this 10 minutes of intense hot chocolate yoga. That will have an impulse, an impact on the habit of lack and fulfillment of lack. lack and fulfillment of lack, lack and fulfillment of lack, lack and fulfillment of lack. Most people live their lives in that cycle. And this 10-minute hot chocolate yoga will be the first crack in this cycle. It may not be, and in fact, it won't be enough to put that cycle, to bring that cycle to an end, but it will open up a crack in it. And every time you go back to this yoga, you will be dissolving this impulse. So it takes love and courage, your love of the truth, which you have, and then this, at a practical level, this courage that you need to not to fight the feeling, but to stand strong and resolute as this open, empty space of awareness.